It's like a vulture like culture.
Well, I hope you had a marvelous spring break. I know I did. Mine was ab-fab. That means absolutely fabulous. It's part of my new vocabulary that I've learned from Zoe. She also taught me how to say bitchin'.
Woo, spring break!
Well, I hope you'll come along with me on my journey, which will show you some of the things I did on my spring break. The first leg of my journey took me to the City of Angels, which is also known as Los Angeles. I had a wonderful time when I was there. I went to the Getty. I'm not even quite sure what the Getty is. I went to the Huntington Gardens. I had flowers and grass. It was picturesque. Venice Beach was a beautiful locale. It was intoxicated people all over the place, and I walked around and I saw people walking on glass. After I got sick of Los Angeles, I went to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., which stands for District of Columbia. There, I went to the Lincoln Memorial, which is where Abraham Lincoln sits. Do you see him here? Do you see how big he is? People come and ask him questions all day because he was honest. The next thing I did was I strolled along the mall, which, again, I will have to clarify, wasn't a typical shopping mall, and it had no Sonic. I went to the Washington Monument, which is here, and the Vietnam Memorial. The Washington Monument is quite a phallic object. I don't know if it was intended to be such, but it's beautiful. I grew weary of democracy and all the bureaucratic red tape of Washington. After Washington, D.C., I left the United States and I crossed the pond to the Mediterranean. I went to Ben Yehuda Street in Jerusalem. I went to the Wailing Wall. The Wailing Wall is behind me. I thought that there were whales there. I even thought it was some primitive aquarium, but it was not anything like that. It turned out to be the most sacred location in the Jewish faith. They put notes in the wall, they stick them in, and they hope that their prayers would be answered by a higher power. I asked for success in season 2 of my program. After my stomach could not take any more of the Mediterranean cuisine, I took a trip to our Earth's waistline, Ecuador, which means equator in Espanol or Spanish. There, in Ecuador, the sun is bright. While I was in Ecuador, I traveled into the depths of the Amazon jungle. My hope was to find a jaguar and tame him and bring him home as a domesticated pet. But I couldn't do that. All I found was a tapir, this crooked-looking creature behind me. To be completely honest and frank with you, my loyal viewer, my journeys and travels made me homesick. So I came home, back to you, to produce television programs. Until then, stay cultured. I'm Javier Bardem.